Good evening, dear brothers and sisters in Christ, and greetings from Prophet Elias Greek Orthodox Church in Santa Cruz. As you already know, every week we would like to share with you some words, and especially we are joyful to have some good news from our parishioners. When they go somewhere and share the experiences, especially concerning the spiritual life, it's a big blessing for us. Tonight, my brothers and sisters in Christ, we have a great blessing and opportunity to host here at our parish our beloved Dr. Mona, who is one of our parishioners. And Dr. Mona, welcome to Prophet Elias tonight. And as you know, Dr. Mona recently traveled to Syria, to her homeland, and our parish participated. All of you, my brothers and sisters, who were so generous to share some of your finance with people who are in great need, especially children and elderly people in Orthodox communities, and all people in Syria, not only Orthodox. But now let's hear from Dr. Mona some of the words, starting with it's like a common question. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Dr. Mona. Where you were born.
I was born in Latakia, Syria. It is a city by the Mediterranean in the northern western part of Syria. I studied medicine and worked as a medical doctor for 15 years in Syria. I worked with the Ministry of Health as a family practice and in many WHO programs.
Wow.
In assisting children, in assisting like curing patients in tuberculosis, leishmania, malaria, and others. Yeah. Besides working in the clinics, general clinics.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, after that I came to United States in 1999, and I started a job here as a cytogenetics lab specialist scientist. And it was different kind of job. Of course, my medical degree helped me in entering that field, and I was working on genes, DNA, and in assessing the cancer patients in lymphoma and leukemia, and finding out how much the cure they were given is impacting their life. That's different kind of job, but it is still in the medical field.
Of course. God bless you for all of these things that you did for good for humanity.
Thank you very much.
And as we all know, Dr. Mona recently visited her homeland, Syria, and could you be kind to share a few words? I know that it's difficult to share the stories now from Syria, that it's not the same country when you left it. But tell us a little bit about everyday life in Syria now, what you saw when you were there in August and September.
It was very hard to be there. First of all, I was shocked with the backwardness I found there. And after 10 years now, it became better in safety and worse in poverty. Life became miserable for people who used to be educated and living a relatively decent life. I was happy to be there, and soon I was shocked with the sad reality of backwardness in all its images. It was summertime.
Mm-hmm.
The weather is very humid and hot, and the city merely having electricity for 6 hours or much less total per day, and sometimes it is even 3 hours. Water is available for a couple hours per day, while people try desperately to fill whatever they have to keep water in houses. Propane is limited to each family, and this is what gas is itself a disaster. Yeah.
A country who lays on billions of barrels of gas is
Yeah.
not able to have now.
You know that
unfortunately.
with this war, the northern part
Uh-huh.
of Syria was occupied by the Kurds, and they deprived the rest of the country of the gas and even from the means to make their bread, like grain.
Yes.
They deprive them, so this is impoverished the country itself very much. For example, this gas disaster, it created a big problem there in Syria. You can see that they couldn't have any, like they have to wait for 2 to 4 days to fill their tanks, and that reduced the transportation in the city, and that make it not available, the taxis, the cabs, or even people to move around. So that's what happened. And with now it is the prices of gas was raised.
How much is 1 liter? Approximately.
If you want to buy gas, for example, and they try to buy it from the black market, it is around 20 liters. It is around $20, and this is comparing to the person who has his salary for a month $25. That's, I'm talking about a person works in teaching, in
People with higher education.
higher
Right?
education, doctors.
$25.
Yes, that's the salary from the government. Or any civil engineer has $25 per month as a salary. And this is not enough to buy food for the family, not even for days, because everything is very expensive. So the poor situation for each person is there, even for the people who are working, regardless of not talking about the people who are not working. They don't work. They are without work, and this coronavirus coming also to make this business getting out. Yes, people out of business and having no jobs at all. After that, you know, other problem is the refugees who are coming there from all the areas who is occupied from the armed group. And they were driven out of their places, and with big, huge stories of disastrous situation.
And you were able to, in all of these difficulties and challenges, you have able to visit some churches.
Oh, yes.
You went for services there.
Yes, I went.
Tell us a little bit how is like a Christian life in Syria, in Latakia, when you were able to go to see. Tell us, what did you see?
First, the churches were closed until the 14th of September.
Because of COVID, or?
Because of COVID. About 10th of September, they opened the churches, and it was the first visit for me after a month going there.
Wow.
And people are full with faith, but the situation for each person is affecting their life. They are part of society and they are impoverished also, and they have their much problems to run after food for their families, to pay their rental. You cannot believe the rental, it is more than a person's salary. If you are, yes, if you are renting. And people still are clunging to their faith. And of course, it is kind of very soothing your soul to go to churches there. It is beautiful, the life of faith there, and all these traditions they have. I went to St. Georgius, the monastery.
Monastery?
Yes, in the valley. It is called the Christian Valley. And in there I attended the revelation of Christ.
For the feast day you will
On
be.
your way to the valley, you can see the images of these young fellows and girls who were shot down during the war by snipers from Al-Husn.
They were killing
civilians.
Christians.
They were attacking them, like shooting them from far away from that mountain beside the valley, snipering them, and that's what happened to so many disasters of the war created, and many people who were coming refugee to that place from homes when the city was destroyed completely.
And the Bishop of Homs is kidnapped, right?
Oh, the bishop, yes, he was from Aleppo. Yes,
Aleppo, yes.
Bolos, yes, he was kidnapped,
and
and nobody knows
anybody.
Nothing about it.
7 years already, right?
Yes,
Even more.
yes. And I went also to the churches in Latakia itself, and to the very, very old church called Our Lady. It was built, that church, in the 5th century.
In the 5th century.
It was, yes.
Brothers and sisters, you hear from the 5th century.
It was built. It is very old and a small church and full with soul and the spirit, beautiful spirit inside.
And people were coming?
Oh yes, a lot of people coming, and of course services is held every Sunday, Friday and Wednesday, and sometimes more.
Yes.
And also there was a big church in Latakia I visited also called St. George. It was a huge church, big one in the middle of the city.
Is it the cathedral maybe?
Not cathedral, no, we cannot say that, but it is
a big church.
Yeah.
And filled with people, you saw.
Yes, it was filled with
young people, elderly people.
Yeah, people are going to practice their faith, and of course God is merciful on us to have this relatively kind of liberty to go there, and nobody is shooting now after the war, because during the war it was terrible.
And now it's more or less peaceful situation, just economically it's difficult.
Yeah, economically it is very difficult. The poverty is unbelievable. And actually it was your fund you sent with me, it relieved many children. And I'm so thankful
share a
for
little
that.
bit with our parishioners. Share us a little bit that all the money that was collected here at the Prophet Elias, and God willing we will continue this. It's not going to be one time, but when Dr. Mona goes there, she's going to be our contact person to be able to help from the first hand, as they say. But this little of what we were able to collect, how many people you were able to visit and to share what we collected here?
Actually, I was helped by the organizations in the church
Uh-huh.
for poverty or helping organizations, and they were in contact with these poor families, and they have even more special situation, like people like on top of the poverty, they are not working. Not
see.
even this small salary they were not getting.
Getting even this $20.
Yes, this $25 they are not getting, and some of them on top of that they have illness, and adding to the poverty and unemployment, this illness which needs, of course, expenses to go to doctors and to pay for the medications to get treated. All that, those people were identified the most.
And you were able to visit
Poor,
some
yes.
of them, like
Yes,
physically?
we went there, some of them,
Yes.
and we give some money in person to that
Yes.
families, yes, and we see some are living in one small room and with no need, in very like dirty, backward, and very bad places.
And they are replaced, those people. Are the refugees, some of them?
Some of them are refugee coming to the city, to Latakia from another places, and some they are from Latakia.
But lost everything, not business.
But
Lost
yeah,
businesses,
but yes,
whatever.
yeah, we were able to help like 43 child
43 children we were able to
help
to
them.
help.
Yes,
God.
and it was a big help. Also, it was small money for us,
Yes.
but it was big help. It gives a lot for them, like a big step in life. You can know that they are able to enter the school on that month. They are able to get some food
To survive.
to survive. Yes.
The brothers and sisters, you could hear from Dr. Mona that only one Sunday that we have this appeal for all of you was a blessing, that 43 families were able at least to survive a little bit longer and be able to buy something.
Yes, and that was, you cannot believe how much they prayed for the church, for you, Father, for every person sent the money for them.
And we can promise that this is not, as I said, it's not the end, it's just the beginning, that we will, through Philoptochos especially, collecting our donations and helping the children and the families who are who are sick, who are struggling with poverty, who are struggling with all of these difficulties. We will continue to help. But at the end, what would you think that would be some ideas that you would like to see, like how we can help?
Actually, sending some money to Syria, it is a big, huge help. And also, if we can, like, our voices heard from the government to stop taking that gas from the Syrian people, because they need some gas to survive.
Their own gas.
And to lift this to lift the
Sanctions?
sanctions. Thank you, Father.
Yes.
To lift sanctions.
Sanctions that it's still on people of Syria.
Yes.
It does not affect politicians, it actually affects.
No, it is not affecting any politician.
It only affects people, simple people. And God willing, when you will be again traveling?
I will be traveling in 5 months, yes, in 4 to 5 months I will be traveling again. Yes.
And you will be able to again to bring with you some money that we collect from our
I
brothers
hope
and
that
sisters with you.
brothers and sisters can join us in helping those poor people, because each one helping a person in Christ is helping Christ himself.
Thank you, Dr. Mona, for sharing these powerful words and sad words, but powerful words for us as a way of awakening to see how many blessings we have here, and that we are called to share with those who are in need. And this is great opportunity. What we have to do, we know, is to write checks and send and support those who are in need. This is the calling of being a Christian, a calling to love your neighbor as yourself. My brothers and sisters, thank you for again being with us this week and listening this message, not as a way of inspiration, but as a way of appeal to melt our hearts and being able to pray for those in need, but also to help those who need help from us. God bless you all, and I'm looking forward to see you all in our church.
Thank you,
Thank
Father.
you, Dr. Mona.